Today, the devs have given us Cap of Discomfort, which may be great against those speedy builds that finish people off in less than 4 seconds. To get it, you'll need a Cap of Resilience and a Corrupted Crystal, so it will cost you about 14 gold to make, which is well worth it in my opinion. At the start of the battle, you'll be able to reduce damage taken by 25% for 5 seconds, which is nice, but you will also have a 15% chance to take away any buff your opponent may gain, and their healing is reduced by 30%, which is wild. Having 2 or 3 of these should be enough to tank a speedy lightsaber build or those instant lamp trigger fighters. Well worth it, like I said. The next big buff we'll see is to the Blood Amulet, which will now increase your max HP by 20 at the start of a battle, which is nice because the Blood Amulet always seemed a little bit underwhelming. And don't get me wrong, I loved seeing it in my shop because combining it with a leather armor or a gloves of haste meant that I will be getting a cracked item. However, just by itself, it always seemed a little bit lackluster, mainly because all it gave you at 9 gold was 2 Vampirism, which could be taken out by a couple of garlic items. But now at 9 gold, you're getting 2 Vampirism plus an increase of 20 to your max HP, which makes things a little bit more worth it to buy it at 9 gold in my opinion. Now, these past couple of patches, you may have been noticing that the devs have been trying their best to make Poison Ivy a more desirable subclass, and I think they have finally done it. You can truly be a ranger who can out-poison a reaper. You can now inflict 2 poison for each spike buff that you have. However, the requirement to get that extra damage went up to 19 poisons. Despite this, you have a lot of play with Poison Ivy if you happen to have a lot of spikes by round 7, or plan to make Pandemonium. And I'm going to be honest with you here, guys. I don't want any rangers complaining about how reapers are stronger than them ever again. These past couple of updates, in my opinion, has made ranger better than the reaper class. But the gap isn't too far as well. If you're skilled enough, you can still beat either or. Next, the Tusk Piercer starts off with 2 more damage. And let's just agree that it's a good bow and arrow, guys. Please play the Tusk Piercer so the devs can stop buffing it. It's reaching crazy levels of strength now. And in addition to more spikes buff, the pineapple only costs 7 gold instead of 8, as well as the Ripsaw Blade seeing a nerf to its cooldown. And with all these changes, I have to say spike builds are looking quite enticing. Unlike the double shovel meta, which may take a hit after this patch, the shovel's cooldown increased as well as its stamina cost. The hammer also saw a damage increase as well as lump of coal generating 6 armor instead of 5. But I'm not too sure if it's enough to keep players from picking it. It's basically a must pick during the early rounds. Now let's not forget about the leather armor, which can now resist 3 debuffs. I think pairing this with lump of coal may be a good strat in the early game. And it's also half the price of holy armor too. So depending on your build, you might prefer leather armor over holy armor. Box of Riches also saw a reduction in price to now only being 5 gold. Imagine pairing the Amethyst Crystal with the Cap of Discomfort. Your opponent's healing will be next to nothing. I think altogether, this could be a soft nerf to the Staff of Unhealing if you think about it. The broom no longer needs a mana requirement for its item activation to work. Lastly, after buying deck of cards, one of the cards offered instantly is replaced by another card item in its spot. I hope you guys enjoyed this week of updates. I always think it's so cool that the devs continue to do these on a weekly basis. But nonetheless, what are some of the things you guys like and or dislike from this patch?